I got to say, this one's hard to figure out because there's not a whole lot of information on it. You have to do quite a bit of digging, and this one blew me away. Facebook was worth over $1 trillion not long ago. We're going to talk about that next.
Life's too short to be uncomfortable, so make others uncomfortable and wear something from www.shinybrandproducts.com.
Facebook
Metaverse.
Let's see what Ted Gets Bread has to say about it, and we'll do some commentary on this video from YouTube. I did like it, by the way.
Attaboy.
Meta Facebook stock has dropped to its lowest point since 2016. On Thursday, October 27th, Meta declined 20% on earnings calls results after reports that Meta's revenue dropped again for the second quarter in a row, which also resulted in Mark Zuckerberg's personal net worth to drop more than $10 billion, which adds up to a total loss of more than $100 billion since its peak. Now, I'm fairly confident I can say, in my whole trading career, I have never taken as big of a loss as he has.
Well, not many people have the ability to take a loss like that, but...
No. Yeah. I think right now everybody's kind of taking a loss. But
yeah.
The interesting thing that the reason I wanted to talk about this, because when I saw it and I was like, oh, I want to learn more about this, is because I can't imagine someone losing a company, a board of directors going along with and losing $700 billion of worth.
Ouch.
in a year's time and keep pushing a certain narrative.
That last part's the important part. Stay in the course.
Yeah. Wow. Like, you would think, so they're going to basically, the way I viewed this was they're going to basically push this for as long as they need to until all of us little people go along with that narrative and join the metaverse and all of these other things. Now, it's not quite that simple, I get it, but what it is, when you dig into this, which is difficult to find, when you dig into this, their like 5-year plan essentially is that they want to more or less have large businesses sign on to this as the work from home solution.
Okay.
And which, by the way, was pushed pretty heavy in 2020, and which, by the way, as a whole, wasn't successful. As a whole, the social anxieties of people have gone through the roof because they can't socialize anymore, which is, they did a lot at work, but not only did they do a lot at work, they did a lot after work because they met people at work and they talked about things, and they're like, oh, let's go, all 40 of us hang out at, the tavern.
Build relationships.
Yes. And so they're still trying to push this and all those kinds of things. It blew my mind, frankly.
The numbers are staggering. Take 3 zeros off. It's still staggering. The loss that company has endured.
Yeah.
Because of a narrative. Most likely. I think it's pretty easy to assume that it's because of their narrative.
It sure looks that way.
They're not being replaced by another social media platform. It's
Right.
not like MySpace 3.0 is around the corner.
At this point, it'd probably be a 7.0, but...
Yeah. But it's not like competition is pushing them away.
No. This is saying that, hey, the public is not interested in this at all. and so we're just not going to buy it. The frankly, a lot of the things that I looked at and saw, I mean, PlayStation and some of these other gaming and Xbox and all these other gaming consoles have had better graphics and better, like, quote, VR than what this is currently in 2020. They've had it or in 2022, which I think 2020 is when they came out with this concept, wasn't it? It's what was in my head. But anyway, they've had this stuff for the last 10 years. That's better than what they currently have for the metaverse. So people are not signing up for it, but yet they push it and they push it and they push it. So we know from other tech issues that have come about in lawsuits that they spy.
Oh, absolutely.
That's happened with Apple. That's happened with Microsoft.
Yep.
Is that a Microsoft 3.0? We don't know. It's a question.
Right, yeah. Are people fed up with the direction, with the wokeness, with the selling of our personal information? What happened to just... And I understand you need to make money at what you're doing, but...
They're not making money.
Well, they're not making money anymore. Well, they're still making money. But...
Right.
Just let us have let us use the platform as it was. I mean, you're trying to fix something that wasn't broken, and you really foobarred it.
Yeah.
So
Foobar. That's the first experience that I had was Tango and Cash.
Wow.
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's an old movie.
Was that Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 92, 93? Yeah. Early 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We were both still in school, I think.
Memory.
Yeah. Iron Chest.
Yeah, it's interesting. The public is basically saying no, and the metaverse is they're just pushing it. I know we don't need to talk about this a lot. I found it interesting. Thought maybe some other people would. Maybe like I mean, some of the critics that we have, me specifically, Craig, it says that, there's like 7 people that ever watch or listen to this, which is fine. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chrissy. Appreciate it.
First off, that's not factually true, but my mom never listens.
It's called karma.
And but that this is a pretty massive deal that is I'm not going to say it's being swept under the rug, but it is certainly free market is not being allowed to choose this.
It's being suppressed.
Yes. So if you say the free market is choosing this, you would be wrong. This is being pushed on the people that are saying, no, we don't want it.
People are speaking with their feet.
Yes.
They're moving elsewhere.
Yes.
Because they see the writing on the wall and people aren't happy with it.
Yes.
I didn't look it up, but it'd be interesting to see where some of the other alternative social media groups have gone in the last 2 years, since it was blatantly obvious that Facebook started to censor opposing opinions.
Have you looked at some of the DHS stuff?
No.
Ooh, I've got a whole mess of things I've been looking at and reading. Same with the Paul Pelosi thing. And I'm not going to touch either of those two subjects right now because I've tried to be very careful to not jump on a bandwagon when something happens. I think anybody that has followed along long enough would understand that. I'll definitely have my personal opinion, but I'm not just going to jump on something until enough what look like facts have come out. And so I'm not going to jump on either of these things yet. There's a lot of proof, though.
There's a lot of stuff coming to light.
Yes.
But let's get some background to it.
Yes. So with this, a lot of proof is the loss of that kind of, whatever you want to call it, is still a big, massive loss in a year's time, which means the free market is saying no.
Enough is enough.
Yeah, enough is enough. But what else? That's it for me.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 6 months. Is something going to replace Facebook? Are they going to be the next MySpace? I don't think so.
No, I would agree with that.
I
don't
think they've
so.
lost their younger participants to TikTok and whatever else, but it's still a good platform for people to connect with each other and stay up to date on what's happening in all your friends' lives.
It's an extremely easy platform to use.
Absolutely. They need to not mess with that part of it. Like, don't make it more complicated.
Yeah.
And their last rollout, it's like, I don't want to do these things. Just leave it the way it was.
Yes. And now that's the personal Matt. I have what they call a business page, a couple of them, but very, very different, and something that has been enormously difficult to use since they've switched over to some of these things. They've changed their policies, like I change my underwear
monthly. Yeah.
Which would also be called daily in my world.
Inside out, front, back, whatever. I mean, you see the things come up, and it's like, stop suppressing people's pages.
Which there is proof of that.
Yes.
I literally actually on my own personal have the proof of that.
Right.
Let alone the DHS documents that have come out. Department of Homeland Security, by the way, is what that stands for.
Right. Let people see what their friends are posting, and don't suppress these people and push up these people. Just, if I'm friends with them, I want to see what they have to say or what's going on in their lives. Stop messing with it.
Yeah.
Just let it free flow.
Yeah.
And if I don't want to listen to somebody, I'll unfollow them or suppress them for 30 days. But let us, the users, make that decision. Don't do what you think is best for us. Granted, we're not paying anything, so we're kind of at their beck and call. I don't know if that's the right verbiage for that, but whatever. We're at their mercy. But you mess with it too much and people are going to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Where they're not getting suppressed or whatever it would be.
Yeah. What that does, what they've done, and intentional or not, has created, as a tagline for a time was, escape the echo chamber. They are creating echo chambers.
Absolutely.
To everyone's demise, essentially. That does not help anybody to create those kind of echo chambers. It long term helps nobody. It helps their revenue for a while, but we can see the long term effects of that, in my opinion. Yeah. And but at any rate, that's it for me.
Yeah. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah. Email askmatt@mattloganspeaks.com. See you next time.